Hi, my name is Lesley Pazdzioch. Thank you for joining me in this video today. Today I want to be talking about mental health. And before I begin, I'd like to just share a little bit of information about myself. First of all, I'm the founder of a new company called Inspiring Creative Insight, and then, as well as a subsidiary of it, Living from the Inside Out. And I'm beginning a new podcast coming out very, very shortly called Life Made Easier. And the reason that these are coming about is to help people with their mental and emotional well-being and to explain a little bit about how I overcame some struggles in my life. Before I get started, I'd like to ask you just two really quick things. And that is, the first one is, I'd like you to just take a few moments and just sit with yourself, close your eyes and just think, if what Lesley's telling us in this video is true, and it will apply to me or help me in some way, show me and pick something. Pick whatever you choose, whatever you want. It could be a butterfly, it could be, a blade of grass, it could be whatever you choose that you want to see, a quarter, dime, nickel, whatever, right? A blue button. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you just ask for something very, really pretty insignificant, just something out of the blue that you wouldn't normally expect to see. And hold on to that until when it shows up. You don't have to write it down. You don't have to etch it in your mind, because when it comes, it's automatically going to come to you, and it will be this epiphany that lights up like the 4th of July inside of yourself. And it'll be really touching for you. The next thing I ask is that I just would like a little bit of grace. I want to ask for grace, because this is the first time that I've ever done anything like this, shared my experience at all, and to be doing it now so publicly is quite a big deal for me. I'm stepping out into a really big, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone into making a very big, bold move. And I'm doing this because of the mental and emotional health crisis, and I've been really working hard to be able to express this the best way possible. And I know that all the people out there that this will serve, it's going to serve them, and it will serve them incredibly well. And I want to thank you for your time as well. To begin with, I want to start out by sharing my own personal story briefly. In 2006, 2007, I went through probably one of the most terrifying experiences I have ever had in my entire life. And that was a complete mental and emotional breakdown of my entire body system, to the point where my hair fell out a few times. If you put it in a piggy about the size of a pencil. I lost significant eyesight, hearing, as well. I lost an incredible amount of weight to where I was like a size 0, 1/2. I could not even find women's clothing that would fit me. None. Only children's would fit me. And that, to me, was pretty frightening. Not only that, I couldn't remember anything. My memory, my brain function was just gone. And what I remember one time in therapy, I went to a therapist, and she had said, I had a whole team of doctors that helped me through this, but I remember my therapist one time telling me, Lesley, your brain is working just one side, or we need it to be working crossways. We need one side of your brain to be working with the other side, and that's not what's happening. And they had done some brain scans, and the end of my diagnosis was this, that if I survived, that I would either be hospitalized, I'd have to live in a home, or have constant care, have somebody around me constantly to take care of me, because I would not ever be able to live on my own. This was really, really frightening to me, and when it was all said and done at the end, I truly was like a little 5-year-old, but in actuality, I was 40 when this happened. Why I share this is because there's a lot of people that are almost to the brink of this, that are sliding down this or that are struggling some way within themselves. And it doesn't have to be that way. It just really doesn't have to be that way. And I truly believe that the information that you'll gain in this talk will really give you hope, even if it's only the size of a mustard seed. One of the questions that started this for me was during the very first section, or the very first beginning of the therapy that brought me to my foundation, was she asked me, Lesley, who are you? And I said, what? She said, who are you? I began explaining to her about my kids, my new marriage, my home, the business that I owned, my life in general. I was pretty happy and wasn't really sure where all this was coming from. When I was done, she looked at me and she said, that's nice, Lesley. Those are nice attributes. But who are you? Who are you? And this is what began my journey, because I had no idea. And when she said to look within, my response was, look within what? And that's the beginning of where all this started from. One of the things that was really a turning point for me through all of this, I remember really, like most people, really looking for God and praying, and I couldn't find him. I couldn't find God anywhere. And I'd been looking my whole life, and there were times that I thought I'd found him, but I really hadn't. And so I started going to different churches, belief systems, everything. I started exploring just anything that anybody could throw at me. I was willing to try it, and just anything to kind of find my balance again, because everything was gone from my normal life. And it got to the point that I got really angry with God, and I told God, because I couldn't find him. I could see him in other people's faces in all the different religions that I had gone to and that I had researched, and I knew he was there, but I couldn't find him here. Like, I couldn't feel in me what I saw in other people. So I got really upset, and I told God, that's fine. You can ignore me. You can deny me whatever, from whatever lifetime experience, whatever. That's fine. You can deny me, but I will not deny you. And from this day forward, I am going to live and create the greatest Christ-like life I can. This isn't because of reading the Bible, because I don't understand it anyway. I couldn't understand much of anything. I said, I am going to live from in here my greatest Christ-like life that I think that I can possibly live, being so true to myself, because I want to know what it's all about, to look within for my answers, look within for something, because when I was looking within, I saw nothing. There was nothing there. There were certain steps that I took, but in this process to get to finding my stability, to finding some sort of a groundwork to start on, my foundation, it took a total of 3 years for me to find this, because there were many different aspects that I was dealing with that needed to be put back into place. For me, it was almost like a windshield, when a windshield shatters and there are just tons of little pieces, but there's big clumps left, the windshield, and there's clumps. And I took the biggest clump, swept up all the pieces, threw it away, and started working with that big clump, with that small little piece of me. And that is where I think that it's best to start, by clearing out everything in your life and starting from right here, from the point that you understand and that you're finding that solid foundation within yourself. And that is exactly the avenue that I decided to take. And for me, I look at this as a whole person approach. I took like a whole person approach to my well-being to find out who I was. And I began with really understanding what does it mean to look within ourselves. What really does that mean? And what it means is really just finding out who you are in every aspect of your being, not just your mental or emotional aspects, but the whole person. This is a whole person approach because everything is in your body is connected. And we take in information and we send out information, and it all has to function correctly. So what I started doing is the first thing I did is I started with looking obviously within to figure out who this was, and with the things that I was upset with, the things that had hurt me, or the people that had hurt me, or that I had hurt, or done things that just this time I didn't dig up anything from the past. It was just things as things would come up. I would write letters either apologizing or forgiving. And I would work through those processes to get to the point where I found a place of peace within myself with that situation. And then I was able to let it go. I started at the earliest memory I could remember and moved forward because that made it a lot easier for me. And by doing this, I found that things that had bothered me before didn't really bother me. As I went along this little journey, things just started falling into place for me that really felt good inside of me. Then I started clearing out my life at the same time. This was all simultaneously. I had gotten rid of everything in my life. People, friends, family, everything. I had wiped everything out of my life, and I didn't let it go with harshly. I let it go with love and kindness because I knew at this time I needed it to be about me, for me, and because of me, because that's where I was being led. So I think that it's important to point out that this is a journey that you have to take on your own. It was a journey that I had to take on my own. And if it's something that in the end other people that watch this video choose to take, I really stress the point that nobody can help you on this journey if you are looking for your true personal self. If you're looking for the real authenticity to build that foundation, you have to do this by yourself, for yourself, because of yourself. And I know you can do it because I did it. And I was a mess. I was a mess. And I wasn't supposed to live from any of it. And if I can do it from that point, so can you. And this is how this is how you're going to do it. A mustard seed, just a mustard seed. If you have a mustard seed of hope within you, I can help you, and I want to help you. And these are the steps that you use. I cleared out my life from within myself. I cleared out my environments. I cleared out family. I cleared out friends. I cleared out everything. I kept the dog for a little while. And I did it with love, and I did it with kindness, and I did it because I needed this time in this space, and I started exploring the areas of life from inside of me, from this very foundation of me, from my mental, my physical being, from the things that I ate, the things that I watched, the things that I listened to, the things that I had in my environment. If it did not bring me joy, it didn't stay in my life. It didn't stay in my environment. If it didn't add something to me and help me feel good and know who I was, but it had the opposite effect, I let that go. And I let it go gently, not rude, not I tossed it out with ill feelings. I always made sure that I found a place of peace, even with articles in my home. I made sure that I made peace with whatever that was attached to before I let things go. The mental and emotional well-being is essential not only to us because of us, but it's also essential to have that aspect of ourselves because of the people that are around us. And I'm not talking just our family or our friends and stuff. I'm talking about our everyday interactions. In order for us to really live our lives the proper way we need to live them, is we have to live them from a place of balance and a place of peace and harmony that's within ourselves. Because when we go out, and we're all familiar with this, and you go out and you run into somebody that's, really happy and euphoric and celebrating, we like those kind of people. But the other opposite, when they're not feeling well, you kind of don't want to be around those people. And the same goes for us as well. But if we're not going to have the interactions that we would have with others without that self-confidence, without feeling good about ourselves, without knowing who we truly are on the inside, and that way we're projecting outwardly the things that that other people need as well, because we're all really working in this together. And I really want to stress the sheer importance of really setting your inner foundations about who you are and truly knowing who you are. And when you start going through those things that are making you uncomfortable, where you're seeking forgiveness, or you're offering forgiveness. And when this happens, this is just within you. You can go to certain people if you feel the need. I did. I went to certain people and confessed what I had done. I believe that's what confession is about. It's admitting to ourselves and possibly the other person, if you feel that need, that we don't feel comfortable about certain choices or decisions that we made, or that we're not happy with the way they treated us, and we need to be able to confront those. And while we do that, it builds us from the inside out, because really we're supposed to be living our lives from within ourselves outwardly. That makes our lives more meaningful. And I think that when we can do this in a loving, compassionate, kind way to ourselves and to others, accepting our differences and our similarities, and really just knowing inside and having this firm foundation, it also allows us the opportunity to really know and get to know other people and who they are on a much more deeper level as well. And, the reason I share this is because, the mental health and the well-being it's a crisis right now. And I truly believe that we have the opportunity to really make a difference. And as we start to learn more about ourselves, we really start to learn more about, when we learn about ourselves, we understand why we do the things we do, what makes us feel jealousy, what makes us feel joy, and what are the things that we are noticing about ourselves when we experience these things. We're going to start to notice them with others and really being truthful to ourselves. And what you find in the end of it is so much forgiveness and through self-awareness as you heal these things. But, we need to understand that every human being is vital and has a great significance to fulfill during this lifetime. And if we don't treat each other very kindly, and we're not respectful to each other, we're not trying to live our lives with compassion and understanding, it holds us back from our own personal growth. When we treat other people poorly, it holds us back from our own personal growth. And when we give to others, it helps us grow. Does that mean that other people are going to give to us? No, but it means that we are doing our job for ourselves, and we are living the best life and the most truthful life to ourselves, because we know who we are, what we stand for, and we know that we are contributing to the best of our abilities. I know that there are a lot of individuals out there that suffer from the same thing that I did. And this is such a process, and I know that it's pretty big, pretty broad, and it doesn't, even 20 minutes isn't really enough time to really get into the heart of it. And I truly want to see people succeed. Because for those individuals that are suffering like I did, I want them to know, I want you to know, I see you. I see you. I can feel it, and I know what that's like. And you are not alone. You are never alone. You might feel it, but it's not true. And I'm going to offer to you to let me help you plant your seed of hope. If you have a seed, mustard seed of hope, and you are writing and you're viewing life on a more positive perspective of hope, of inner strength, you're just going to dig up whatever you can find. I really want to help you. But truly, this means a great deal to me. It's healing for us, you know. Healing's not supposed to hurt. Healing is a gift we give to ourselves so that we can grow. And if we're not giving that gift to ourselves, we can't grow. But it's not supposed to hurt. All of the things that people say, it's supposed to hurt, it's supposed to hurt. I went through that, and I got tired of that roller coaster ride because it was either two ways, blame them or blame myself. But there's a third way, and I want to teach you how to really take what I've said in these little 4 steps and really dig down deep and find your answers, because they're all within you. You just need to learn how to find them. And once you uncover them, my friend, you will shine. And when you start looking and you start this work, you can't stop. There's no way you'll be able to turn back because it's fun. Does it hurt sometimes? Sometimes it does hurt. Sometimes it does hurt because we have to admit things to ourselves that we didn't really want to admit before, or we learn things about ourselves or about other people that sometimes we didn't realize. But the whole key with that too is forgiving yourself, because when we know better, we do better, right? So there's no point in trashing yourself. What it is celebrate yourself, that you learn something about yourself and you move forward with that with love and kindness in your heart, saying, geez, I'm so glad I just learned that, because I feel so much better inside of myself. The most important thing to me right now is this work that I'm talking about has to be done individually. You cannot do this work finding answers any other place but within yourself, because only you have these answers. The reason why we suffer this confusion, that we're all suffering the mental and emotional discomfort or uproar, is because we're looking outside of us for the answers that we need to be looking for and the guidance from inside of us. And it's not that we can blame anybody or shame anybody or anything else. It's just the way that things have gone. But there's new ways now to where you don't blame yourself, you don't blame the other person, and you actually start to grow and you start to really understand who you are. And then you get to decide what you want to do with your lifetime. Because you have an option here. You came here with free will, essential keys for humanity right now. As many are now, this is a really critical juncture in history that truly needs to be taken seriously, and but with a kind and gentle heart. And this is my way of doing my part. You might feel lonely. Those are feelings, and feelings change. One thing is for sure, you're never alone. You are never alone. And I just really thank you. Thank you for listening to me.